Hey guys, it's Emily Batty. We're back in Canada from Mount St. Anne for 2019 World Championships presented by Mercedes. I'm going to take you guys on a track run so you can see all the detailed features. And if you're not here cheering us live, then you can watch us live on Red Bull TV this weekend. All right, so we do have the same start as last year. Most of the track is actually similar to last year. They have made a few changes, which we'll show you guys coming up. Now this is one of the oldest running World Cup tracks, or it is the oldest. I believe we're at 27 or maybe even 28 years now. And for the athletes, this is still one of the most fun tracks to put pre-riding laps into. It's still one of the most technical, most intimidating, and most fun to pre-ride. Now this section here is extremely fast. There's no pedaling. You're really just wanting to modulate the rear brake to keep the tires on the line that you exactly want and keeping your momentum. Now, this is the first short little climb in the track where positions are going to be crucial because we are coming into a pretty long single track section up here. It is pretty high speed, so this is going to be a bit of a fight here for Josh, grabbing positions and trying to get a good position before the single track. All right, now we're dropping into the first single track. This section right here is a lot of fun. Actually, it kind of reminds me of motocross because there's always going to be a rut here. It's loose sand, this new little feature. Woohoo! Now we're into one of the tight switchback climbs. Most of the climbing is switchback, pretty steep. So the smaller the bike, the quicker and more nimble you're going to get around these corners, back up to speed. All right. There's a rooty section while pedaling. These gaps coming up, you really want to make sure you're up to speed because you need that speed to make the clearance. So downshifting, and we're pedaling hard into this to make the gap. Whew. A lot of the Canadian riders like to refer to that first half as the Ontario section. It carries a lot of flow. It's quite high speed, pedaling through the corners. So if you're from Ontario, you know what kind of terrain I'm talking about. Now we're coming back up close to the stadium, so if you're in the center area, you can really watch a lot of action happening from this section. We're into the BMX section. There's a couple options here. We did have Master World Championships just last week, so a lot of these lines are burned in nicely from those athletes. Whereas normally you spend a lot of time trying to decide what's faster, A or B. But a lot of the lines are quite obvious right now. All right, now we're back into the expo area. So if you're stuck in the expo, you still get to see a lot of the action. But hopefully we'll see you guys out on track. Okay, now we're coming into the first time through the tech zone. We do come through here twice, so most riders are doing drink and drop, which means we're not carrying a bottle on the track. That's half a pound of weight that is unnecessary. There's Canada. So we're literally gonna drink here, drop it back down to the soigneurs, mechanics, and full gas out of the tech zone here. Over one of these two overpasses. So if you're making your way up the track, you're gonna walk under these. So we're actually going over top of you guys, which is kind of cool. All right, now we're on to the main climb in the course here. I'm not sure the name, but I like to call it just a big long grass climb because it is much steeper than it looks. And it's grass, so there's a lot of resistance just naturally with the terrain as it is. So with this section, you have roughly 45 seconds of vision in front of you, so you can see the other racers. Hopefully they're behind you, but you can get a good gauge on where you are sitting amongst the other riders in this climb. Okay, we're still on the first climb. This is all one long climb because it's 45 seconds of effort followed by 30 seconds of falls flat. You still are on the gas. This is still part of the climb leading into this next zigzag climb. So something I'm actually really poor at is pronouncing French names. So I'm not sure what they call this. I just like to call it the zigzag climb. So the unique thing about this year is that it is so dry. So guys, as you can see, traction this year is going to be so important. In the previous years, we've really struggled with rain and the slick earlier in the week. This year, it's dry. We haven't had rain here for a really long time, and so a lot of the climbs are actually more the technical features than the actual descents themselves. A lot of these corners are really just so dusty, and so traction is going to be really important. And the first time up this, there's going to be a lot of riders, a lot of congestion. And you really want to avoid running, so you want to be in the front to avoid all that. So this is a 6 switchback climb, and it is a lot more steep than I think the camera will really give you guys an understanding of. It's quite steep, and these corners are really loose. So it's all about controlled torque and, you know, making sure your pedal's in the right position, and then that rear wheel. You do not want to break loose. And now we're coming into the famous La Beaches rock garden here in Mount St. Anne. You really want to keep your cool, turn your racing brain off, and just flow through these rock gardens. You make one mistake and it's going to be high consequence. If you remember Anton Cooper, man, he had a good recovery after that, but you can see how punishing these descents are. Did I make a spark? So I just clipped a pedal on one of those rocks. So this is the middle of the track, more towards the end now. So the adrenaline from that climb, followed by the beaches, and now this second really steep climb. They call this La Marmite. So you can sit in the middle of these two climbs and cheer us on. There's a lot of contact with the riders on these trails. So the ascent into La Marmite climb is much steeper than it appears as well. And it's just straight, there's no corners. But once you're halfway up, now we're into a 6 switchback, loose corner climb. these climbs draw out a lot of spectator opportunity. So that sort of thing, we're in and out of the saddle constantly, trying to load and off weight the rear wheel to maintain traction. But now that we're at the top of the Marmot, there's very, very little recovery because we're coming into the upper rock garden section before La Patriot. So it's not a track for the faint of heart because it is technical, followed by really technical climbing. This is a full body effort because you are pinned through these sections. A lot of people wonder why mountain bikers have to be fit in an all-around perspective, why we have to hit the gym in the off season, because let me tell you, my heart rate is 188 and I'm just pre-running to get through this stuff. This is the rock spine, single track. Now we're into the new jump here on the track. It's quite high speed, you don't need to pedal. Woohoo! Now we're heading into Patriot. Line choice here is unique. There's a couple options. Oh. Okay, I just read that as bad as it could be and still saved it, guys. Whew. That was sketchy. So we still have some work to do, fine-tuning these lines. The nice thing about World Championships is you usually get here early enough to put many days on track. So this is also a new section. We used to just pop out onto a bridge, ride down the ski hill. They've added some more technical stuff here into the stadium. Whew. A little more action for spectators to watch kind of in around the start area, which is cool and fun for the riders. There's a couple options here too. So, all right. Now we're about a minute from the finish line, but they did also add this new little rock garden feature here, which there's really only one line through it. I think it's more to just separate the riders and string us out into single file before these corners coming up. Now, braking points are really crucial in these sections. As we know, grass is a little unpredictable with sand mixed in there, so it's all about pre-braking, body weight distribution, being in the right gear to accelerate out of the corners. Now we're back into the feed zone. Woo! We're gonna lock the bikes out. We're gonna be standing through here, trying to get back up to speed. Back through the start finish line. There are a couple turns before the finish line. And they're high-speed corners with sand in the corner. So again, nothing will ever let you relax or recover, because if you're not focused on every second that you're going through a technical feature, it's going to cost you. All right, guys. That's a pretty quick lap. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys on Saturday.